Good day. How y'all doing? How everybody doing? Thank y'all for joining us for another episode of the Predator and Prey. I am, I guess, the predator, and I guess Dr. Lisa is the prey.
Mm, yes, Dr. Lisa is the clinician, the mental health advocate, the mental health, emotional well being sort of persona. So, yeah, I'm here joining my good friend Brian Glaze Gibbs. So, thank you.
So how you doing? How's your week so far? I know you've been back and forth traveling, taking care of things, trying to get back in the swing of things. And people do not understand, like when you're trying to balance, your personal life with work life and everything else, it can be very complicated.
Oh, absolutely. It has been an unbelievable journey for the last couple of weeks. As work is really beyond capacity in terms of the need in our community. So it's been very busy for me. That's not necessarily a good thing for individuals because that means that they're struggling and trying to cope with a variety of issues that are going on. But I've been up and down 95 and really, really busy. I should be heading to Florida soon, and there's a medical conference there. Um, I'm sorry for the noise if you hear it. Yeah, so it's just been really, really busy. But it's a good thing. I've gotten really good feedback about the podcast.
Okay.
And so people are really looking forward to seeing how their respective, kind of organizations or, their brands can connect with sort of our mission, which is to provide, important sort of insight and information around a variety of issues and concerns that impact our community. So I'm excited and I'm very happy to be here.
Okay. And see, you
How
know
about
what?
you? How was your week?
Oh man, look,
Because I've seen some interesting things going on while I've been away.
me and you had like just before we started this, me and you had I was expressing some of my displeasure, some of my disappointment. But once again, see, people don't understand. Sometimes you have to have somebody to bounce things off. And you see me, I was like, well, I'm taking some time off, doing this, doing that. But right now, in your brief words and your brief conversation with the connection and some of the things that it kind of like, wait a minute, hold up, kind of pull me up a little bit. Wait a minute, hold up, you know. But that's what it's all about. Like I said, yeah, my week was different. My week been busy. Like I said, right now, always trying to get things going or whatever. But it's like right now, people don't understand when you work. But besides that, with this platform and the things that we trying to do and making the right connection with the right people, I had the opportunity to basically interview Chuck D, a Public Enemy, and I thought that was very powerful. I thought right now, it's like this guy right now, from me being young, wild in the street, I had a respect for this man by the way he spit his word out of his mouth, and it always I'm talking about stern, firm, and straight to the point, but it was always enlightening. So yeah.
Sorry. I actually tuned in. So I'm sorry I was unable to join you guys. I did know that you was actually going to interview him. I had a previous engagement that was, very important. I'm sure he would be supporting BU Black Influences and educator influencers, Black ed influencers, doing the thing to raise, the consciousness and the understanding of Black culture and their experience in this country and in this world. So I was very happy to be to attend that function. But I tell you, the interview was amazing. Chuck was amazing. Shout out to Chuck D. We love him so much. It was just so many questions that I have for you. I felt like texting you and saying, ask him this and ask him that and tell him this, but I know there'll be another opportunity to gain his insight, his wisdom, his majesty. It was absolutely amazing. I was thinking about the women, sort of us cisgender women looking for that sort of wisdom and advice from our big brother, someone who has been there, done that, and has nothing but love for his community and for his people. And so it was a great opportunity for me to ask questions on behalf of the females in our community around everything from social engagements, emotional health, mental health, physical health, relationships, like advice around relationships. What would be his advice today? I mean, he's seen so much, right? So he's probably, used to, you just go out on a date at a diner, right? And now we have Tinder, So I would love to hear his insight about that. Like, what is his thoughts about that? And would he suggest some of that old school thinking? Because there's something that he said I thought was absolutely beautiful. He said we need to really love and appreciate and value the mind, the wisdom in age, right? And that's why I love you, because you're my elder. Just joking. Just what? I knew that would get you smiling, get your energy for, yeah. So, but he's correct that when you take the wisdom and the elders out of a community, you lose a sense of structure, values, ethics. What is the frame of reference for your community? And so many people have passed away. I think I mentioned to you before, close to 5 million children have been orphaned by at least one parent just as a result of COVID. So the fact that children don't necessarily have that person, those kinds of people in the community is devastating. So, I hope that he is willing to join us again when I'm available and he's available to come on, because I think there's so much advice that he can give all of us, particularly in this time when 70 to 80% of households of color, particularly Black American households, are headed by single women. And they're also trying to work a 9 to 5, and there's only 24 hours in a day. So who's helping them to raise the children? Who's in the community to provide the guidance? And how do we bring love back into the conversation? So thank you. But you did a great job without me, you know? It didn't seem like you missed me at all either, because, to be honest, you didn't hardly even mention me until the end. I'm like, who does that? Like, we're in this together. Like, we are a team. Okay. But it was okay. I was okay with the testosterone in the building.
This what you guys sit back and think about. It's like right now, what we were saying, if it's certain people that we can get on at their convenience, and sometimes right now, like to me, it was past my bedtime. But it's like right now is when he told me, listen, I'm waiting, and to me, like I say, when people bless your platform, you seeking to accommodate them to the best of your ability. And even right now, like I say, I did mention you, so I don't want you to say, look, I know I threw you up in there. I know I mentioned you or whatever. But to me, some of the things like what we was talking about, the state of hip hop, with all the stuff going on in regards to PnB Rock, what just happened as far as his murder, when all this gangsterism came into hip hop, and not only that, like I said right now with the Buster and the Fat Joe situation or whatever. And to me, it's like
Fat Joe.
This guy, like right now, where it's like to me, Chuck was like unbelievable as far as the way that he expressed himself, the way his breakdown. And what he was saying right now is even way back then when they were sponsoring parties before they actually became public enemy, he already had a security team when they was promoting parties. And basically, when they was promoting party, one of the rules when people came and tried to get in the door, no jury, no go, no And I thought that was deep, 35 to 40 years ago, because he's saying right now, look, folks come in there and they got all this stuff on, people trying to attack them. So what's going to happen? Shooting. What's going to happen? Drama, shooting, killing, hurting. Over what? So when he's changed and say no jury, whoa. And to me, everybody know we go to this party, we're going to have a good time. We're going to go party the way that we're supposed to party. You know what I'm saying? Right now in the dance, drink, socialize, bingo. No drama. You don't have to worry about going to this place to have fun, then you wind up dead. So I like that. So that was very, very powerful, man, because it's being security and having a security state of mind at all time.
That was the part right there. I mean, when he said security is not about the people around you, it's about the mindset of all the people around you. And as the leader or as the person that was, I would say that the way that he was describing that, and I could certainly be wrong, and he can chime in and correct me. But I felt like he was saying, or I thought I heard him saying that as a group, they set the tone for the mindset. They set the tone. So we know that people can be overzealous about the jealousy. Zealousy is equal to jealousy, right? When it comes to the things that people may adorn, whether it's vehicles, cars, you know what I mean, jewels, homes, whatever, and want to, for whatever reason, they understand it, want to take that away, and it can create certain kinds of conflict in those sort of spaces. And so they set a mindset that, nah, that we don't even want you to bring that
Yeah.
in here, because we want to avoid or minimize, right, that level of confusion and conflict in these spaces, so that people can come here for the purpose that they came here for, and that is to enjoy themselves for whatever little time. And you will be surprised how important to have that kind of downtime is important for your self-care. So, but you don't want to go out to a place and you're worried, oh my God, are they going to shoot? And when I walk out, are they going to take my chain or my ring? I mean, I was watching a video recently, I think I shared it with you and our viewers, around where, and where a man was walking in a city, and they robbed him. It looks like he was just reading his paper. He had his watch on, and they robbed him right there for his watch. It was unbelievable. Here it is, just, I don't know what kind of watch it was or whatever, but he looked like he was in like his workout outfit or something. It wasn't like, he was just kind of like on his downtime, taking care of himself, doing a little jog. And here you go, someone runs up to him and they snatch the watch, and he tries to fight for it, because that's sort of a natural instinct, right, to sort of defend yourself and your property. And they started tussling for it. So I really appreciated the conversation. I appreciated his authenticity. I appreciated his transparency around sort of fully understanding that there is a certain emotional and mental health crisis in our community, and we have to stay aware and astute around what role we play in helping people navigate that. And even if that means the responsibility on the rapper, is not saying that he feels he knows it all because he's been there and done that, but because you just try to use sort of like deductive reasoning. Listen, we're going to be in an environment with all sorts of people. Let's just have, a rule, no jewelry. That's it. It's not even that deep. But if you want to come, just don't come with a whole lot of that, because you know what? That creates issues, right? Not because we think our people are savage. We're not trying to say they're savage, right? But that wasn't necessarily the message. I think the message was more about, listen, let's not create opportunity for zealousy, right?
And you know what? Like something he say when they was having these parties, they call it headache parties because they know right now it bring about headaches, and they took all situation that can cause headache away from that equation. And I thought even from them being way back when thinking like that was unbelievable. And even now, like I said right now, is once again shout out to Chuck D. I truly appreciate you blessing the platform. And right now is like I gave you the open invitation. Anytime you want to, you know what I'm saying, this is your platform. You come back, you can, hey, look, hey, listen, man, because I really enjoy it. But we even talk about
I
this.
want you to come back, Chuck, so I can talk to you. I have a lot to say. We have a lot of questions for the girls, for the ladies. So you need to bless the ladies. BGG will stay quiet, and it'll just be you and I chatting about the ladies and the kids and the children. See how we can get our families back. How about that? Yeah, quiet. I know you can't be quiet. I'm just it's
Look,
an open it's
I
an
was
invitation for him to come back so I can chat with him.
yeah. But even with that being said, right now is we were speaking about the PnB Rock, that tragic situation that happened in regards to him at Roscoe. You know what I'm saying? Chicken and Waffle in LA. And basically right now is like, that's been a situation that everybody been talking about all week long because nobody can't believe it in broad daylight how this man out and about, you know what I'm saying, with his daughter and right now his, you know, girlfriend, and basically allegedly somebody's supposed to have dropped a location that they was there, sharing picture of the food. The next thing you know, stick up kid came, long shot, kill him, rob him. And those are the things right now when you sit back and you think about different things, it's like, wow, like how in the heck that, everybody look at it, everybody put things in perspective. And I was just thinking about that whole situation and saying to myself, like, even right now is like when I was running wild and I can remember wearing 20, 30,000 worth of jewelry in your neck. And once again, I can remember going by Marcy houses. And as I'm there, I'm looking, nice day out, crowded. I see a bunch of people. I stop my car and I'm like, man, I'm not strapped. But I'm not just gonna take my stuff off. I already out. So what I did was I looked over there at everybody and I turned around to the car, act like I grabbed something, and I went like this. So automatically, I took my hand, put it in, in whatever, and I walked into Marcy, took care of what I had to take care, and left out. So once again, because to me, you always got to be aware of your surrounding. And the difference is right now is like everybody keeps trying to say right now, well, listen, man, he's out eating, but you do not never go and put yourself in a lion den, because once again, these folks out there is hungry. And right now, from my understanding, he pull up in a G-Wagon. And as, Whack 100 say, he said right now, what he pull up in, you got people in that neighborhood, these father, these mother is not making that in 2 years. So then what he's wearing around his neck worth probably 2 or 3 times what the houses in that neighborhood is worth. So when you sit back and you think about that, whoa, what's going on here? So it's like, to me, later for that, man, you could have went anywhere and got something to eat. But even with that being said, if you're going to be there, what happened to your own security? Having 1 or 2 people there that is trained security, that's on point, that's going to protect you and yours for this type of tragedy from happening.
Well, it's interesting. I heard your conversation and your, sort of your commentary and dialogue around the sort of missed sort of opportunity or expectation for sort of human capital around these security people, right? That you felt he should have had in his space and in his place. Obviously, you know what? I want to give the brother so many shout outs for feeling a sense of comfort with his own people, a sense of respect and honesty and value for his own people, that he didn't feel afraid that he would be harmed by his own people. I mean, that is a huge sort of mental process and step to take because, often the saying goes, when you make it, you flee. Black flight, right? Once you make a little money and you're able to get out of the community, you leave the community. You don't try to invest. You can't see the value in the now. What was once the dollar brownstone in Brooklyn is now worth $5 million today, right? Like we remember when they were giving away, right, the property in New York City, particularly Brooklyn. You can't even get, a fire hydrant for $200,000. I'm saying all that to say I think it's important that, and I want to go back to something Chuck D said, is that we begin to use these social media spaces and places to elevate and lift a message around a mindset of love, a mindset of conflict resolution, a mindset that, jealousy is whack, Jealousy, there's no space for jealousy. If you want a Mercedes wagon, their possibilities are endless. I mean, shout outs to Hassan Campbell. Like, he's always trying to teach the young boys, the young brothers that, look, I'm doing this thing through YouTube. I'm not trying to stick a gun in no one's face. I'm not trying to rob someone. That's not the way, because what you then become is product to the government and the very society that you claim you rebelling against, because you are then food for the COs, the wardens, right? The governor, the law guardians, the lawyers, the legal aides, the social workers, the mental health professionals. Everyone eats off of your dysfunction. So for you to see that they're not getting a bag from you, right? You come on, it's easy. You can kill your brother in the street. He's gone, and within 90 days, a year, people will forget. But you'll be serving 25 years, and I can actually get a mortgage on a house, because I know there's 50 of you that's going to be in here for 30 years, and I know that I'm going to have a job for 30 years. And so I'll be able to pay my mortgage until I retire. So you're nothing but food. You're fake. You're food. You know what I mean? So you could kill someone today, but you know what? All those people I mentioned, right? They all are going to be able to eat off of you, just because you had that zealousy in your heart for your own brother, right? You're not really built like that. You did all that for what? You're going to get caught, because I know you don't believe in snitching, but there's cameras everywhere and people are going to talk, because what you did was whack, right? But it's okay, because the lawyers and all the people involved are going to eat off you. So you set yourself up to be a fast food restaurant. Period.
You said a mouthful. One of the things that you say is like, with I'm trying to. I don't want to put word in your mouth, but it really boiled down to the fact that PnB Rock trusted like his black people, his brothers, sister, to feel that comfortable. And like I said right now, is I don't think trust got anything to do with a life being taken, because to me, and another thing you said right now, to come back into the community, like he's from Philly. So basically right now is, from my understanding, because I got a picture of him and some of my friends, like family, with the guy, because he moved to California. So I guess he's from Philly, but you made it, went to California. But in the same token, like, why would you go to certain neighborhoods knowing as far as the consequences? Like, don't get me wrong, he got a right. But when you talk about like right now, like you went out there and you trust these guys, that's too comfortable. It's like to me, like even coming from, like he say, I done listened to a few of his lyrics and his rap songs and things in that nature. And I done listened to, he say before, these guys came around him, they, about it, wanted to rob him, but they see that he was right, so they didn't get him. But even with all that being said, it's like being aware of your surroundings at all time. It's like we have our alarm system. And even right now, if we walking or we driving and we driving through an area, our alarm system is going to tell us from our mindset, from everything that we have seen in our life. You know what? This is a nice area. The same way we going through a grimy, like rough area, our mindset going to say, even with these new cars, they're going to act like that robot on Lost in Space. Danger, Will Roger. Danger, William Roger. Hey, Will Roger. It's danger, because once again, we know. And what I'm saying is, you can't like just take it upon yourself. Like for example, like, don't get me wrong. Like, yet let he or she out sin cast the first stone. And right now, it's desperate people do desperate things. So once again, these individuals that's out there, I felt that responsible for that is hurt people, hurt other people, don't have nothing going on for them. Like, right now you talk about the envious, the jealousy, all that coincide with one another. Because once again, like, to me, a lot of times people can't see somebody else is more successful than they are. And you up here Like, you live in the life of Raleigh. I want what you got, and I'm going to get it by any means necessary. Not saying that is right.
Yeah, but that mindset is also perpetrated by media that says that we are, in many ways, that presents us in these public spaces as savage. And so we sort of buy into the rhetoric. I'm not saying that there's no criminogenic behaviors in our community, and I'm not saying that there's dysfunction. There's a lack of understanding and awareness and consciousness around, doing the right thing in your community and valuing the right thing and loving your brother and sister. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I think the brother himself felt a sense of safety around his people, that perhaps what I hear you saying, that maybe based on, what we know to be a fact, I guess, is that it can be dangerous and that people can come for you and can come for you in a way that, ends your life. And I think it's sad to really, because I'm going to say, I think it's sad that that is a reality. But on the other side, then what happens when police officers feel that same threat, right? And then they kill. And then we go all out and everybody's marching and this and that and this and that. The fact of the matter is, Black people have been killing Black people for a long time, but when the police do it, we get all up in arms. I feel like the up in arms need to happen anytime Black young boys and girls, men and women, are arming themselves and taking arms up against their own people for whatever reason. Like, we need to stop all the marching and the popping and shaking when we feel the police kill us, if we're going to be okay with what this other brother did to a innocent brother just going to try to have dinner with his family. So the fact that the brother did not even care about the fact that he was with his woman, like, have respect for the woman. The woman is very valued in our society. We are the ones who create life. And so for you to even think it was okay to do this woman's going to be traumatized. And I understand how that feels because I lost my son's father to murder. So this is really near and dear to me. I'm not talking right off of the top of my dome. I'm talking because I've experienced it. It's not easy to try to get over the fact that another brother killed a brother and then still love your brother. Like, we need to get away from that, period, point blank. And like, I'm not even with all the marching and popping and skipping, because this situation is a travesty. And it's not about we need to hide our jewels and we need to not pull up in the G-Wagon. Because I remember when I had a Bentley, I would pull up to, I work in the hood. And I said to my husband at the time, I was like, let me tell you, I don't even want this car. You know why? Because I need to go to the hood and I don't want to drive this car. I have really, and many times I made a decision not to even have cars like that because people get the wrong idea. You understand what I'm saying? I had to put the safety issue in my head. But you know what? I've seen people get carjacked for less. They was in a Volvo. You know what I mean? So it's the mindset of the people. It's the mindset. And until we show them that we'll come for them when they come for us, then we are going to continue to have this problem. As far as I'm concerned, the person who did that is a fake, a fraud, and they're enemy to our community, and we reject them.
That was deep. And you know what? Like I said right now, heartfelt, well said. Because once again, like you say, look what you just say. Like right now, the Bentley. The difference right now is, guess what? It was your car. Y'all earned it. That's your car. So, even like that was brought up earlier this week about if a person own a Rolls Royce or Bentley, when should they be able to drive that Rolls Royce or Bentley? And I'm gonna ask you that question. How your husband felt, how he felt when y'all should be able to drive that Bentley.
That's a whole different story. I can just say for
I know,
me, I know the deal.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, what his position was, you just pull up, you run into your little place, wherever you have to do your business, and then you just go back in your car. And I'm like, I don't want nobody following me home. I don't want anyone doing this. I don't want anyone doing that. Like, first of all, we ain't even rich like that. Like, they come up on us. I mean, they ain't gonna get nothing but some debt, but I was just trying to
but but you
I
know
was
what?
just, but the point is, there was a person in our neighborhood, a lawyer. Let me give you a real example. A lawyer, a brother too. He had a law office in Harlem, and was it Harlem? Harlem abroad. His wife would go to the hairdresser in Harlem, and people would see her husband pull up, whatever, pick up or whatever. And they had a beautiful home in Inglewood Cliffs, and I didn't live too far from Inglewood Cliffs. Little Kim lived up there. There's a lot of celebrities that lived in Alpine, Closter. That's all in New Jersey. Old Tappan, all of those areas up there, up the Palisade. You ever hear Jaru going up the Palisade, right? So, she was just talking to her hairdresser about, I guess, her husband, and they seen or whatever. So the woman had a boyfriend who I guess was on the street. And he decided with a couple of his friends that they was going to follow the lawyer home and do a push-in and rob them. The lawyer pulls up in the driveway. He ain't thinking about nothing. He gets out the car. He doesn't go fully in the driveway, right? Like, he doesn't go into the garage. He just leaves the car in the driveway. He jumps out. They got the jump. They already got him, right? All three of them, right? They was in a van. They didn't know the Inglewood Cliffs area. There's a lot of little cubby holes back there. So you try to get out. You're like, oops, that's a dead end. Oops, that's a cul-de-sac, right? And so the neighbors was conscious, white neighbors. They like, these three black guys, why they don't know what they doing. They actually killed the husband. The wife got away. She was able to go to a neighbor's house because, people don't really know your house like that, and all the little, safe spots and safe, all that kind of stuff, how you get in and out the place. And they killed this man. And I said, listen, like, all of this for what? They didn't even get anything. And so, of course, we don't like snitches, but when the guy the actual driver was caught because they jumped out and started running, right? They found one down south, one in Harlem or whatever. The point to all of this is that people can follow you. You can just be having conversation with your barber, with your hairdresser, or whatever. Next thing you know, you become prey, And that is, to me, a sad state of events where Black people can't even have a sense of community. Like, I didn't even want people coming to my house because I'm like, oh no, I don't want people to hate on me. What kind of nonsense is that? Like, we do that because we're afraid that the next man is going to be jealous of some kind of material stuff. First of all, we reject those people. Material stuff means nothing if you don't have honor, dignity, and respect. So as far as I'm concerned, it's all a wash. But I feel very sorry for this woman that had to witness this, right? For the community, for this man, this Black man, Roscoes, right? In business, they're going to go into his business and commit a murder. Like, it was disrespect all around, and we should be totally, totally outraged.
Yeah, but like you said, I agree with what you were saying, but like I told you, the comment was made that if a person own whatever you own, Rolls Royce, whatever, it's like, a person should be able to drive at any given time because you work hard for that. That's yours. But in the same token, it's like right now is knowing when, because once again, look what you just said. What happened? Because people feel because of what you drive or how you dress or what type of jewelry or what type of house you live in, everybody look at you as ching ching, a dollar bill sign. Everybody look at you as potential food, lunch. Because even as we call this podcast, the predator and the prey, the predator, you know what I'm saying, what they do is they plot on the prey, on the weak. And what I'm saying is that's what these individuals do. Like, they don't have the mindset or the desire, or they too lazy to go out there and get a job or get two jobs or do what it takes and do it right the first time, so they don't have to worry about going out there commit no crime. So what happened is they want shortcut. So that if anybody look any form of success, and like you say, some people lease, finance, whatever, they probably got bills after bills after bills, and you going after them think you're going to get something because what they're doing, they're looking the part, not meaning they are the part. So once again, you went after that individual. Like you say, they killed the husband, the wife got away, and they got absolutely nothing. For what? So that's what I'm just trying to tell you. Perception is everything. And what we as people have to stop being in love with materialistic things. Like, come on. Because at the end of the day, you're going to take somebody's life Over what? Jewelry. Over what? A car. Over what? Money. But yet it still regards what? This is something that we've been addicted to as a society, as a community, as a whole for how many years? And history constantly keep speaking itself.
Yeah, well, people who have been, in slavery for basically 450 years, whether it's bondage or outside of that, it's not, if it's shackles, or whatever they say, right? Or a mental bondage, the mental bondage is continuing. The mental bondage continues. So the slavery in terms of servitude, right? And being beaten for everything. You couldn't even wear clothes. You didn't have shoes. You barely had a home, right? You only been out of that situation for a little over 100 years, and your mind has been shackled and chopped up. So, yeah, you see a name brand or all of these things with with people's names and people who own companies that have nothing to do with your community, and you prey on your own people. Like it's a very sick mentality, and until we start to call it out, it's going to continue. And yes, you will be hiding the ring that your grandmother passed down to you for 4 generations in your house because you're afraid that someone else is going to take it. Like, this is the nonsense that we deal with. I'm so happy that, personally, I'm not into I'm not into any of those things. Because I'm more of a nature person, and I can walk barefoot, somewhere in the park. And, I like to, be with the animals and, milk cows and do all that nature stuff. But, and I think we should all get back to that. But the fact that we are so caught up in all of this is very sad. And it also creates people doing things for money, right? Doing things for drugs, doing things that they shouldn't be doing just to get something, whether it's drugs or some kind of material item. It's very, very disheartening. And I wonder if we're the only community that does this. Like, I wonder if we're the only community that actually goes around like killing one another for coats and I mean, I remember when we were coming up, Glaze, people would like kill for like shades, gazelles or sheepskin or something crazy like that. You know what I mean? It was very scary. It hasn't changed, and we lived in the hood, so yeah, I don't really have any more to say about it, but I do think we have a lot of work to do as a society and as a community to address this issue because it absolutely is devastating.
Yeah, it is. And to me, it's like right now is it should be some type of understanding that when you first of all, it's like desperate people do desperate things, and we got a lot of situations, circumstances out there that people want to have pity parties or feel like they can't make it or feel like the man got their foot on their neck. It's like right now. Guess what? You have to crawl before you can walk. And even if you go out there get your job, and by having that one job is not paying you enough, that means guess what? You got to hustle and get you another job, get you 2 jobs, 3. Do the things that you need to do until you can be where you need to be at. It's no shortcut in life, and the only thing come fast is trouble. Easy to get into, hard to get out of. Because once again, like I told you, a lot of times, look at the situation like you was telling me about those young men, 3 of them, attacked the lawyer, killed the lawyer, didn't get nothing. But what they got life. They got 25 years. So once again, they threw away their life for what? 25 years for what? Now, if they would have had all of them would have had minimum wage job working those 25 years, guess what? They could accomplish something opposed to nothing.
But isn't the lawyer an example of what the possibilities are? The lawyer pulling up in his whip, going to his beautiful crib with his beautiful family, his beautiful Black family up in Inglewood Cliffs, living the American dream, if you want to call that the American dream. It shows the possibility even when you have a deeper hue, right? Like, it's okay when the melanin is popping. There's still the possibility that you can keep it popping, that you can have it popping, that you can have whatever it is you want in life. And there's nothing like the beauty of purchasing and getting things based on your hard work and what you put into it. And you don't have to look over your shoulder and think about, oh my God, like I know somebody's gonna come. I'm sitting here trying to enjoy these 800 thread, Egyptian sheets, but yet I need to be worrying about who's coming through that door to come and get me for me hurting them and their families. It's insane to me. And there's so many people making money off of our backs that we don't roll up on them. We don't roll up on the pharmaceutical companies that keep poisoning us and making millions and trillions of dollars. Like, we're not rolling up on any, but we roll up on the hardworking, poor Black and brown person that we know for actual fact did not have a trust fund, that had to work, scrape and scrub for every single dime and just trying to enjoy it before they drop dead. And here you go trying to rush the process. No, we reject you. You're out of here. You're whack. No one's interested. So if ladies or gentlemen, whatever you are, if that's what you into, you need to tell those people they can't show up at your door, because we don't subscribe to that. Nope, we don't. Sorry.
Okay. Like I say, you know what? Another disturbing topic that I ran across, I I seen it, but it's kind of too deep. It's already down with the lady, drowning three of her children in Coney Island. And to me, like, you sit back and you ask yourself, like, what in the heck this woman could have been going through to basically eliminate the life of all three of her children. To me, from a psychological standpoint, something had to been hindering her to not just kill one, not two, but all three of your babies.
This particular story is near and dear to my cipher, and so I'm not going to go into too much detail, and I don't want to push myself emotionally and mentally beyond the limits because of the close proximity to um, my existence. But I want to say that depression is a serious disease. And 1 in 4, 1 in 3 people will suffer from major depression at some point in their life. And some of us really aren't clear about how to cope. When someone goes out at 4 o'clock in the morning with their 3 babies, 2 months, 4 years, and 7 years old, and they walk into an ocean, right? To drown them, to end their life. That's a seriously depressed individual. And there's but so much we can even say about that. We can't say if or, like, these children they did not have a chance. The mom was their caregiver. She was their protector. She was their God, right? That's who they look to feed, clothe, and shelter them. So whatever she said was the word, right? It's a beautiful thing to feel that with someone, but you just don't know what people are going through and why she felt that she was at her last opportunity to sort of make a difference in her circumstances. What about not having the children was going to change that? There's all sorts of speculations about, certain kinds of financial difficulties associated with housing instability, perhaps other types of insecurities, food insecurity, financial insecurity. We will never know, but we do know, and we don't want to put out there that poverty alone leads to these kinds of outcomes, because our people have been poor a long time. But we may do a lot of things, but I don't want us to lift that what we do when things get hard is we kill our children, because that is not a fact.
3 kids, probably alone and over her head and overwhelmed with the daily trouble of life. You know, and see, that's what I say.
Yeah.
A lot of times, nobody know what the next man or the next woman is going through, and sometimes only thing it take is the act of a kind word, is the act of 2 ears to listen. There was an act of try to be, as supportive as possible. And like I told you, depression is real. Suicidal thoughts is real. Um, like I say, all this, mental illness is real. And a lot of times people want to run away from that or try to act like it's nothing is wrong. Everybody in this world needs somebody. And for anybody think that they can live in this world alone, then guess what? You are sadly mistaken. And sometime right now, you just got to raise your hand and cry out for help. You got to, like I tell you right now is that, we can always more or less like what if, what if, what if. Anything we can do is honestly speaking, man, take a moment, say a silent prayer for those three kids, for PnB Rock, and all the individuals that we lost life, I'm saying, during this week that just passed.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hope that they offer her help, right? Because she survived. When they found her, she was, you know, drenched, soaking wet, and very despondent. But I hope that, yeah, she will serve time for the murder of three children, if that is determined to be the case, allegedly. Um, and but will she receive the help that she needs? And you have experienced the criminal justice system and the prison industrial system. And so, do they offer help to people with this level of criminogenic behaviors?
You know what? Yes, they do, but the difference is up to you. Because once again, like you can offer somebody anything, or you can make the suggestion. But in this situation, circumstance, I think it's going to be under heavy scrutiny. And
Mm,
once again, because that's going to be her defense if it
mm,
even make it to a trial. So
mm,
once again, they going to make sure she go to Premore, Bellevue, wherever they go at this
mm,
present time, and they gonna put some real professional doctors to really psychoanalyze like
mm.
her thinking, her mind, state of mind during that period, or what is it now? So yeah, but right now is in order to get help, you got to be receptive for help. If you're not receptive to help, what difference does it make? If you're trying to help me, I'm drowning and I don't want to be saved, or you know what? Hey, you trying to save me, but if I don't want to be saved, then what?
Well, in a situation like this, do you think, and this is just sort of like conversation and sort of lifting possibility for policy change, do you think that there should be a mandate for someone to receive treatment and go through some kind of intense diagnostic sort of workup to see what is going on with them?
You know what? Okay, now we're getting down to the law, and to me, right now is like me personally, I would say yes, it should be mandate. But then again, it's all type of like I'm saying laws, regulation. That guess what? It's like it's the do's and the don'ts, and then you don't never want to violate what quote unquote nobody rights. But sometimes you have to go above that, especially right about now because I think it's really necessary.
I think what concerns me, even about the abortion laws in in certain states, is this type of outcome. Right? You kind of push women into, giving birth, right, and not really taking ownership of their reproductive health, and they're not necessarily emotionally and mentally ready for that 21-year commitment, and it is a commitment, and it's with you whether you're on your highs or your lows. And so, and there is no blueprint for doing it. You just do it, and you try to figure it out. Hopefully the elders, as the great Chuck D would say, the wisdom holders will part, knowledge and information and ideas about how to do it as effective and efficiently as possible. But it is not easy, particularly today, as the cost of living continues to increase. The types of jobs that are available aren't necessarily paying a living wage. people are, dealing with this post-COVID reality. Like, these are real trying times for everyone. And I'm not saying that anything is different from the past. It's always been historically trying times that each generation will have to live through and cope with. But it's important for us to kind of understand that not everybody is up for the challenge. And so maybe it is important for women to have a choice around those kinds of decisions. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just putting it out there in this conversation.
Yeah, I agree.
What did the messenger say? Hey, messenger, we love how active you are in the chat. Thank you for being here. You are lifting up so many good points. What is he saying now? Or I don't know if the messenger, look at me, referring to the messenger as a him. How sexist of me. You could very well be a they, there, or a her. So I don't know. But just hit us up and tell us if I'm right, if you are a he. Um, and they can't even write in cursive. Well, you know, is there a need to write at all anymore? Forget cursive. I mean, now with text, I mean, all you need to do is say yes, no, send an emoji that expresses all of your emotions, happy, sad, cute, sexy, you send a heart. So now we're speaking in, cartoon characters. I mean, sorry. I mean, you know, Apple's making billions of dollars from all of this. So trillions. People are homeless, but they have a cell phone. So go figure. We can't even afford a Apple stock, but we all have a phone. How much is Apple stock right now? Someone should chime
I don't
in.
have the slide.
Shout
I
out,
don't have the slide side deal.
yeah, earn your leisure. One of those folks that come on, tell us what the stock market is going for. All of the products that Black people possess, that we kill other people for, right? What does the average iPhone even cost? You know, I would love that. And do we have any stock in it? I wonder how many people of color actually have stock in cell phones. The one thing that everybody almost on the planet has. Crazy. Do we even know what it is? Shout out to Earn Your Leisure. We need to get those brothers on the podcast to part some wisdom too around financial literacy. Maybe we don't have to go through killing someone for some jewelry, whether, we don't know if it's real or fake. And maybe we can invest in stock and the money will turn around quicker.
You know, I did something, and I post that, and I'm trying to find it. I don't know whether I even have it anymore, but it was kind of deep. Whereas in regards to, and I think I'm thinking it went away, but it was something about Michael Jordan and Nike, and I just thought that was so profound, man. Like that whole little situation, as far as like I wish I can find it, and I most like I probably won't be able to, but it was just a post as far as right now where it's like how much money people are investing into Jordan and Air Jordan and Nike. Whereas, like, come on, it's like imagine we invest that into ourselves, invest that into our future, invest that into our life. How deep, what I'm saying, powerful we can be, and that's what people do not understand. And that's why, when you look at different things, it's like we are quick to invite or invest $200-300 in a pair of shoes, but then again, right now is a pair of basketball shoes.
And don't have one Nike stock, not one, not even no one in your entire family. You mentioned stocks, they're like, oh, that's a scam. No, what the scam is that your mind is like just a piece of fried ham. You don't understand how money is moved and made in this country, and is made off of all the things that you purchase, and you're nothing but a consumer. Period. So, okay, keep buying your Yeezys or whatever, you know what I mean? And you don't own not one stock. I don't understand it. Like, I used to drink Starbucks like all the time. And, people would say, oh, why do you go to Starbucks? I'm like, because I own it. it. You know what I mean? Why do you use like Microsoft Word? Because I own it and I want it to stay. You know what I mean? I want my son to be able to I'm gonna pass these stocks off to my son so that he can have something when I'm no longer here, when my visit is up and my number is pulled and I'm done. I've made my contribution and it's over and out. Peace. He has those stocks. You have to teach your children financial literacy. You have to model financial literacy. You have to live it, absorb it, believe in it. Because if you don't, you will forever be a consumer and leave your children some recipes. And we don't even cook anymore. So we're not even leaving recipes behind. And forget life insurance. Does anyone have that anymore? So I guess we're all living forever. And then what? You pass around the little cup and see if we can get some donations for your funeral. Like, where is our thinking? We're killing people for jewelry in the 21st century, 2022. Something's not, something just ain't right. Ooh, 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 ooh. See, I'm taking on your singing. You tell me, do you say it? Something just
No,
ain't right. Ooh, 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 ooh.
you hit on a very powerful, interesting point about people having life insurance. So I was going to try to elaborate off of that before you went into your singing mode. But
I'm learning from you. You're like the best singer ever, so I have to compete because you know you're gonna come up with a song. You did it. What song did you say to
can
Chuck? You
can
did it
can
right.
can we, like you say, something about insurance? I think that's more
Yeah, let's go
important than
back.
the singing. So
Let's
once
circle back.
again, we talk about life insurance. How many people actually got life insurance? I used to do a segment in regards to that. With Shatika, in regards to people can have insurance on their cell phones. People can have insurance on what, your car. But right now they don't have medical insurance. They don't have life insurance. So when you sit back and you think about it, you're right. Where are we? Are we teaching people the do's and the don'ts about financial 101? So to me, that's huge. So when we like certain little things, you hit a very question, very good question. How many of them have life insurance? So when they die, what's going to happen? They're going to have to start a GoFundMe.
Yeah, it's crazy because way back when, Trini, he all he thought about was life insurance. It's crazy. He had life insurance back then. Who was thinking about that at 18? you know? Um, I just, yeah, I feel for people. I don't know. But yes, you can't say they're too young because my baby daddy them added, it added. So it's all about how you're taught, right? How you're trained, right? What kind of information is shared with you um, when in your formative years. And so it just becomes natural. I mean, yeah, yeah. Here it was. He probably was out there doing whatever, but he had life insurance. So, And would you believe the life insurance actually tried to fight us because they said, oh, he died before the contestable period. That little 2-year period, and my lawyer fought that tooth and nail and but there was a whole fight around it and that kind of thing. I mean, we came out victorious, but what I'm saying is that I was a baby trying to navigate this. Thank God I had my dad who was just straight up gangster with it. Like, you're not going to take my daughter through no, crazy circumstances over this situation. She's in school. She's trying to do something with her life. You're going to pay up. But it's sad that people aren't taking care of their families in this way. And I just want to shout out the messenger who said, I am a grown man, Dr. E. I'm a grown man. So definitely I was right. You know, he's a brother, he's a man. And thank you for clarifying that, messenger. Shout out to Gorgeous Geeks. Hey. Should we have universal health care? Well, hmm, hmm. That's a long conversation. I don't know if we have time.
No, we
One
don't.
side of me says yes. The other says, I don't know. That's the doctor side. Um, but the, individual sort of citizen, layman, yes, I think so. Medicaid in some ways, is universal, but it's based on it's only for a threshold of 11,000, 12,000 or less. Then you have, affordable care, which is for people above that fall into certain tiers, and that can sort of benefit some people, but a lot of it is too expensive. And then you have, of course, employee contribution healthcare, which is supposed to be the best, but it can be very expensive for us employees, right? So much that we need to contribute to that. So yeah, I mean, but we're getting sicker and sicker no matter how much health care we get. So what is the real health care? The real health care starts with food. Don't get me started. That's why I said it's a complicated question. Universal knowledge, wisdom, and understanding about what you put in your mouth, right? What you feed this tomb, this body, right? What do you want it to look like in 10 years, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, right? So it is about, because everything that we're eating is poison. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said we should only eat one meal a day, right? Because it is all poison. So you eat one meal to sustain you, and be careful what you eat, right? I'm not saying you should be vegan or, pescatarian or do all that. Just be mindful. Stay away from the fast food restaurants, because you're only making millionaires billionaires, and you're killing yourself at the same time. So, there's no real need for universal health care if we have universal knowledge and wisdom about how to take care of self and love our families and our community.
You know what? This is what we're about to do. We're gonna wrap it up. But what I'm gonna do is the messenger want to know what y'all think about the laws in Illinois. And Walt Lee, during the heights of the pandemic, I watched in horror and overwhelming shame of the news as our people fought, shot, etc. at mall to get Jordan with stimulus check. Unbelievable. So, like I told you, it's so many different things out there that it seemed like we as community are lost, and it's sad, and we battling for the wrong reason. And another thing too is when we say we are what we eat, that's why it's very important that we get Angela Means up here ASAP. I think right now she can shine a lot of light on that topic.
Yeah, shout out to Angela. Hopefully she can join us next month. Yeah, shout out to her.
And something that the mentioner, I'm gonna say this last comment, then close. These record label got deals with the prison, so misguided youngster can listen to the crime music and commit them and go to prison. Wow. So look at that. These record labels got deals with the prison, so misguided youngster can listen to the crime music, commit them, and go to jail.
Hmm. I do have a question for the messenger. So is that, when he says a deal, what does that mean exactly? I'm just curious. Like, do can okay, because they no longer make CDs, right? So I would have thought maybe they're packaging, maybe product for them. I wonder what the deal is, other than before when the prison industrial system was on the stock exchange and it was on the stock market. Um, I don't think the shares did it incredibly well during the time many prisons are closing, Rikers Island being one of them. And some of the bail reform laws have really also resulted in less people being incarcerated for, non-violent offenses. And the other thing is, like, the violent offenses, like, people are sometimes being released for that. Like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with the reform. And again, is part of showing us all this crime that's going on in the community is to say, we told you if we changed bail reform, they were going to act savage and wreak havoc on their community. So what do you want us to do now? Do you want us to go back to the Rockefeller drug laws? Do you want us to go back to, the laws of yesteryear in the 80s and 90s that got tut? The 3-strike laws? Like, what do you want us to do, Black and brown people? Just tell the man what you need us to do. Because you want us to keep you safe, right? Because you don't have men in your community keeping you safe. You don't have a set of laws, values, principles that guide the direction of your community. So what do you want Big Papa to do? Big Papa, what do you want us to do? Let us know and we'll oblige. But don't come for us if things don't work out. I mean, it's a complicated conversation. Thank you, Glaze. Thank you, Walter. Thank you, The Messenger. Thank you, Gorgeous Geeks, for everything that you do. Thank you for everyone. Jose, we hear you. Shout outs to you. You made a lot of good points. It's just, it's sad, but we want to always leave on a high note that part of making change, right, is having the others see the conversation. And we'll never get anywhere without at least having the conversation.
Everybody, listen, it was fun tonight. Thank you for joining us. Tune in next week. And Base Right Now we'll cover some more, like what's going on in the world. And hopefully right now we'll be able to get Angela Means on. Man, I think that would be definitely a powerful, powerful interview. Everybody, listen, peace, love, and prosperity.
And you won't be doing it without me. Chuck D, come back. Come back. Dr. E needs you. I want you to talk to me about all the things I mentioned earlier. Please return, sir.
Any closing remark?
Closing remarks. Love yourself. Love your community. Well, love yourself equals loving your family, which will result in love in the community. That's exactly that's where it starts, with love for self. Jewelry will not be important. Jordans will not be important. Nothing will be important when you love yourself. You will be important. And you will want to make a contribution to your community and to your society. That's it.
Right. Everybody have yourself a great, safe weekend. Peace, love, and prosperity. Predator and Prey podcast signing off. Peace.